Welcome back. You made Diamond K in here. As always, RadioFire.com, the Diamond K Show.com. We have a jam-packed show for you, and we'll get into everything right after this. Fire, we talk to America through digital news broadcasts and social media content. We are a rising multimedia platform generating over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month through our audio and video streams from politics, breaking news, celebrity info, sports talk, pop culture, and much more. Radio on Fire keeps our audience covered. So I mean, there's a lot of things going on, of course, in the world, and as I said, on all social media at the Diamond K Show. So law enforcement agents, officers, killed Michael Forest Reinoehl while trying to arrest him. So who is this? Who are we talking about? He is the suspect. This is who they were investigating, the Antifa activists who allegedly fatally shot a right-wing counter-protester last week. You remember that story. He was part of a pro-Trump caravan. This is the guy who was killed last week. The gentleman, Michael Forest, allegedly killed him, and officers were trying to make an arrest, and now the suspect is dead. Authorities tried to move in to arrest him. According to 4 law enforcement officials, the suspect, 48 years old, shot by these federal fugitive task force members during an encounter happened in Lacey, Washington, which is southwest of Seattle. Here's another thing that is ironic about this situation. The arrest warrant had been issued by Portland police earlier yesterday. And on that same day, yesterday, Vice News published an interview with the suspect in which he appeared to admit to the shooting. He said that he had no choice, and he is claiming he claimed self-defense. He is, obviously dead right now. And so he went on with Vice News, and he starts explaining the alleged story that happened and why he allegedly killed this guy. So, as I said, he's 48 years old. He had displayed his arm wound to a videographer for Bloomberg News, and he's saying that this happened in the scuffle in July. Now, this is a whole nother scuffle. So previously, earlier this summer, he claims that he was shot, claimed he used his military training to take the handgun from someone fighting a group of black teens. He said that I jumped in there and pulled the gun away, and I got shot through the arm, admitting his teenage daughter was with him and a witness. So there's a lot going on with the guy. Now the 38-year-old man whose gun was stolen told the newspaper that he and a friend were set upon while being called Nazis. This back and forth. So, like I said, there's a lot going on, and the fact that this arrest happened and now he is deceased right after this interview with Vice News, very interesting there. So we're definitely going to keep you posted on that. Also, it seems like once a year, maybe this happens once a year, we get a situation where someone is pretending to be something that they are not, and then they get exposed. What am I talking about? There is a white professor, Jessica Krug, who admits that she pretended to be black. And if you feel like you've heard this story before, that's because I said it. It happens like once a year. This is a scenario that's very similar to the Rachel Dolezal, if you remember her. Okay, so Jessica Krug is an African history professor at George Washington University. She admits she's a white lady. Now, she admits to pretending to be black throughout her career. She finally confessed in a post on Medium. Many people saying that she's only coming out with this stuff because she was about to be exposed. So she exposed herself before they exposed her. She said this: I am not a culture vulture. I'm a culture leech. She wrote, saying that she's been battling unaddressed mental health demons for her entire life. So, she's saying that she was dealing with some health issues, and she said that mental health issues could never explain nor justify, neither condone nor excuse her false identity. That's what she said. Show her false identity. So interestingly, she's canceled herself, right? You don't see that too often where someone cancels themselves. But that is exactly what happened here. And the writer named Robert Jones Jr. talked about the post early this afternoon, saying that in a state of complete and utter shock and sadness, referring to her as Jess La Bombera, calling her an activist. And so people, I want you to understand this. So she had pretended to be various types of black. Like she pretended to be a Jamaican at one time, and she's a professor, just all kind of stuff. And it is just it's so strange. Like I understand that they value and envy black culture, right? But she could just be herself. Like all of this, not even called for. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and comments on or on this very strange situation. I mean, you do have situations where black people pretend to be white. I'm not going to act like that does not happen. Interesting comment from Yellow Jesus. What's up, Yellow Jesus? I gotta get you on the show, man. He said bloodsucker, and so that is definitely something that would describe her, bloodsucker. Definitely. We're going to get back with more of the program in a moment. You just tuned in, you listen to the Diamond K Show, of course, radioonfire.com. Let's take a quick break and come back with more of the show after this. And of course, at the Diamond K Show at Radio on Fire. So there's more. There's more. And I think that some of our leaders, the words that they say, the things that they do, and the energy that they put out there definitely affects directly our citizens. What am I talking about? A car plowed through a Black Lives Matter protest in Times Square last night. Just a dangerous situation. Dangerous situation. So I make sure I want you to understand. We've been seeing situations like this where you have groups of people. They're in the street. They're protesting. They're standing, and cars can't wait, and they beep the horn and they plow through. That's what happened last night. A car plowed through the crowd. Caught on video. Police were hunting for the car, which is a black Ford Taurus with a bull bar in the front. And they asked that anyone with injuries come forward. Just lucky that no one was killed. The car was driven by a counter protester attending a small pro-Trump rally in Duffy Square, according to the police. So what you have here is protesters and then counter protesters. I don't understand. Everyone, of course, entitled to their own opinion. Feel what you want to feel, say what you want to say, do what you want to do. But when you have the car and using the car as a weapon, very reminiscent of what we saw early in the Trump presidency, where he claimed there was very fine people on both sides, right? Back in 2017 in Charlottesville. Difference being, of course, no one killed, thankfully. But this car plowing through this Black Lives Matter protest in Times Square. The car was approaching a group of protesters on 46th and 7th Avenue, where about 300 people had gathered in a, racial justice demonstration. Now, New York is dealing with a situation now as more details have come to light after the March death of Daniel Prude in Rochester, this also being at the hands of the police. Now, the group of protesters lined up bicycles in an attempt to block traffic. I know people are going to say, why are they trying to block traffic? Block traffic, you get what you get. And I don't think that they should get death, right? I mean, blow the horn, you want people to move out the way and all that kind of stuff. But if this was a Trump rally and some Black Lives Matter people drove a car through the Trump rally, the president would be whining and crying, and all his Trump supporters would be doing the same thing, crying and complaining about the Black Lives Matter people doing this to them. So let's see, go to a couple of comments here. And because it's current year, were they trying to stop the car again, though? I get it. I understand, in the street, it's where cars come. And this viewer saying that you can't stop a car, all right? Your bike cannot stop a car. Your body definitely cannot stop a car. So, like I said, the group of protesters lined up these bicycles. They were trying to stop traffic. This is around 8:15 p.m. last night. The Taurus rolls up right to the line of the bikes and stops at first. Kind of lurches forward through the crowd. One of the protesters actually swung a bike as the car drove away. The car clipped several of the bicycle riders who set up the barricade, and minor injuries, luckily, treated by medics on the scene. One of the cyclists said that the car just hit me. He hit me straight on and kept going. Yeah. So NYPD said that officers tried to direct the car underneath the Marriott Hotel and away from the crowd, but the driver instead headed straight down 46th Street. And, we're going to have these protests. We're going to have counter protests, and that's all good. If we can just keep the violence just out of the picture completely, that would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Go back here. And let me see what Yellow Jesus is saying. So Diamond, you always bring the knowledge first. Universal love. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. And so, I mean, I could go on and on talking about protest, the counter protest, the president, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to get into a lot more of that stuff later on today. Another story that, I mean, not surprising, but frustrating, right? Dr. Dre, who is the music producer and founding member, one of the founding members of the rap group NWA, and he was a partner with Beats by Dre, obviously, which is named after him. And what he is going through right now is something that a lot of people go through, not just famous people, rich people. He's going through a divorce, and his estranged wife, Nicole Young, is requesting $2 million per month in a temporary spousal support. What is she thinking? And so she filed paperwork requesting this money, and she's looking for so for people that are her family or whatever, and her friends that are gonna get at me about this. Okay, so the specific amount, it's not $2 million. It is $1,936,399. That's what she wants. Okay. We just rounded that up. But strange amount. And along with that, she wants $5 million for legal fees. This is a staggering number. Like what? Just because he has $1 billion, you think you're supposed to get $2 million a month? A month. Okay. But this is definitely going to set the stage. This is going to be a very messy divorce. It is already messy, and her latest request comes on the heels of something that's already been contentious. They're already fussing, and there's a dispute about the prenup. And of course, when you're talking with numbers like this, you definitely hope that there's a prenup there. I mean, I'm supporting Dr. Dre, not just because he's a guy, and I just support the guys randomly or automatically because I don't. But in this instance, I mean, come on. Definitely, her lifestyle is not going to be the same coming after Dr. Dre. Now, let me make sure that the record shows this. She is an attorney, right? She's an attorney. She can work, but she chooses instead to live in the former couple's Malibu home, continues to have a personal chef and access to all the cars. What's your problem? Why'd you want a divorce in the first place? The super producer, Dr. Dre, is definitely going to push back on this. I don't see him paying close to $2 million in this latest filing. And she wouldn't need nearly that amount of money, even to live the lifestyle that she needs to live. $2 million, right? Okay. All right. So some women out there are going to probably say she deserves this money and all of that. So they're gonna say that. I don't see how she gets this amount of money. I don't see it. I don't even. First of all, I don't even understand how she can part her lips to even have her hands out and even ask for this amount of money. I don't get it. But that's what Dr. Dre's dealing with. Now, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Let's come back with more of the show. And I have some very, very bizarre things to talk about as it relates to R. Kelly. Take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. I told you it was going to be quick. When I said quick, you thought I was joking. I meant like quick. So we talked about R. Kelly numerous times. R. Kelly in jail right now, waiting for his court case. Should be in jail, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, his alleged attacker has identified himself. So R. Kelly in jail gets attacked, allegedly, in jail. It happens. People get in fights in jail. But with R. Kelly, there's always some theatrics. There's always some strange stuff going on. And according to reports, R. Kelly's alleged attacker has identified himself. Right? Most people know people in jail, been in a jail fight. But when does the attacker come out and do interviews and start identifying himself? Yeah, the guy in the mess hall. Yeah, I beat him up. People don't do that. Not normally, right? So I'm saying that something's got to be going on where R. Kelly is getting involved here. Like, why are we hearing about the attacker? So the attacker, his name is Jeremiah Shane Farmer, allegedly. Well, that's his name, but he allegedly did the attack. He has filed documents identifying himself as R. Kelly's assailant. Does this sound strange to you? He said that the government made me attack R. Kelly. He did not disclose why. He did say that the attack was a way to expose government corruption. How's the attack exposing government corruption? All right. And when he speaks about corruption, Farmer means the unjust judicial system. If you remember, R. Kelly's attorney asked that R. Kelly be released because they could not keep him safe. It just feels like maybe some money exchange hands. Was he allegedly paid to allegedly attack R. Kelly? Anyway, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Indiana lists Farmer, who identified himself as R. Kelly's attacker, as a member of the Latin Kings, and he landed in prison last year after being found guilty of beating two men to death with a hammer in retaliation for a racketeering conspiracy. There you have it. Not something that you hear normally, but of course, R. Kelly wants to come home, and it's much better out here than in there. Wow. So, I am not convinced about that situation. So, definitely. I'm going to be back here later on today with more news and definitely some more info about some exciting interviews that we have coming up next week. I'm definitely going to be updating people on that. Of course, as always, you can advertise with us. Connect your message with our over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month. RadioFire.com/advertise is where you go to get started. You can follow the program on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. The Diamond K Show. New shows drop daily. RadioFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com, YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K. And wherever you're hearing this, you can always support the program via Cash App. That's something that can be done. Support the program. $ DJ Diamond K. And of course, your donations help us continue to do what we do here on the program. And what do? Bring you independent news, progressive opinion, and commentary on social issues, entertainment, and much more. And I enjoy talking with people that disagree with me. I talk to people like that all the time, okay? For booking or media requests, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Until next time, if you see it, then you can be it. It is all about having vision. And as I said, I will see you guys later on today with more of the Diamond K Show. See you guys later.